It's 94.7 FM, Blair Radio. Our local guest segments are brought to us by Turnkey Nerds, 402-426-NERD. Today we have Ryan Greenwood joining us today. Thank you for taking a little time to talk with us as we are getting into July. 4th of July is right around the corner. And so, again, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. That's great to be here and appreciate you guys in the community and what you do for everything. It's awesome. So we appreciate having you.
Yeah, thank you. So we are talking about fireworks safety. We're going to be bringing you patriotic music throughout the week, as well as the patriotic music for the 4th of July, fireworks displays and everything like that. But you are a little bit more intent on helping everybody celebrate with providing fireworks one way or another. So you have one of the stands that are out there.
Yep.
So just want to kind of walk through. Well, when these stands come into town, they're actually fundraisers for different groups, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's 100% what they are. So the groups have to be a 501c3. So you have to be a nonprofit. And then you partner up with one of these companies and everything like that, and then you staff it and do all the work and get the proceeds go to your organization, which has been super beneficial for us. So. And
you are representing the Blair Little League.
We are. Yep, that's our stand.
That's your stand. And so, what are you looking to raise funds for from this?
Right. So a lot of what people don't realize is what all goes into having a baseball season for these kids. Most people think that, you just need a ball and a place to stand and, you can go out there and do it. Well, at the end of the day, you have everything from, jerseys and uniforms and baseballs and bats and all that kind of equipment that people see. What they don't realize is that for all the grass that's out there, you have to water it.
Yeah.
For all the dirt that's there, you have to have product, you have to maintain it, you have to till it in, you have work that you have to do.
Yeah. You have to paint the lines.
You have to paint the lines, you have to buy chalk, you have to, staff it, you have to pay people to go mow it. You have to, there's a lot of things like that insurance, our insurance bill is crazy. Our power bill just to run those lights, we're one of the only little leagues and one of the only leagues around that has nighttime baseball for their kids. And, we have old school style lights. We don't have the new LEDs, that sip power. And so you've got expensive power bills. You've got all kinds of insurance on not only the equipment, but on all the kids. We have dues that have to be paid to Little League International every year just to use their name and, all the stuff that goes into it. And you have all of that. Plus you want to provide, the service that's cost effective and reasonable, for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or, any age kid to be able to go out there and play, a little bit of baseball. And those costs, especially, in probably the last 5 to 6 years have gone up so much on everything, that if we truly charged, what it cost us to run the league, we'd have T-ball kids out there for $500 a month, or $500 just to play T-ball, which is insane. You can't do that. Yeah. And so, things like the fireworks stand and, all of our sponsors, banner sponsors, things like that, without them, none of this would be possible and to be, even remotely cost effective for the families.
And so right now, a big push is obviously fireworks stands. Everybody's looking to go out there. Now, be safe about it, kids, because we want you to be able to be return
keep all those
customers.
Fingers and toes. Yeah.
Exactly. And we want you to be able to play baseball.
Right.
So, but it is, again, to go support Little League right here. So you guys are a portion of the proceeds from the sales actually goes into that. So
it does. Yeah, a huge chunk of it. Since we did the new partnership with Wild Willy's, where we are actually, staffing it 24 hours a day. What people don't realize, there's somebody sleeping in that tent every single night.
Well, you don't want people helping themselves in the middle
and
of the
they
night.
can't. And so you've got things like that, let alone, the people that are there, opening it up. My wife Wendy's been up there every day at 9:00 opening it up, and we've had parent volunteers, we've had everybody else coming in. Well, that agreement and that partnership is so much. I mean, there's a reason that we put all that time in. The chunk of money that we get from that is very significant and allows us to do things that we couldn't do if we didn't have that. So
right. And then because like you were talking about, it's you're not expecting the kids or the families to pay for all of the expenses. You're trying to find ways to defray that.
Absolutely.
And so be able to help it so more kids can be involved.
More can do it. Yeah. The more expensive that all these, because everybody's playing, I shouldn't say everybody, but so many kids are playing basketball and football and wrestling and soccer and, even hockey and baseball, which is great. Kids should be involved in all that stuff. But so many of those sports are, $1,500 for this group, another $1,000 for this one. At some point, parents are like, oh my gosh, there's so much there. And, so on our end where we're been providing a service in this community since the 70s, when it all started. We are, trying to do everything we can to keep it as reasonable, and not that, $100 for a T-ball kid to go play, not that isn't a lot of money, but it's definitely a fraction of what it truly costs for that child to play. And this is what defers that and offsets it. You have a lot of people that want to give money to your organizations and want to donate money, which is fantastic. And we have just an amazing community for that. But what pretty much every individual donor says when they come to us is, hey, I want this to go towards equipment. I want it to go towards a batting cage. I want it to, go towards this or that, because they want to see where their money is going. Yeah. Well, nobody comes up and says, hey, I want to give you $5,000 to cover your insurance. Or, hey, I want to come give you $6,000 for your power bill or for your grass seed or your fertilizer. So, which is fine. I don't expect people to do that, but we have to have a way to cover those costs. And so the only ways to do that then is find things like this, or, like our banner sponsorships, where it's just money that's coming in that we can use to defer and offset those things that otherwise would all be absorbed into, the cost of a registration for a kid to play.
Well, it's not only that, but you're talking about then you have to lease the fields, I'm sure.
We have an agreement. The city is amazing. Actually, the city gave us a lease on the fields that we have to maintain everything. We have to do all that stuff. And it's year over year. And it's not just with baseball. It's with our whole complex. So our whole complex is all encompassing. So that's soccer, softball, and baseball. And we all have to hold up our end of the bargain and, provide obviously something to the community. We have to maintain the fields. We have to do all that stuff. And, and then they definitely help us out with lawnmowers and some of that kind of stuff. And they've been great. I mean, the city gave us a nice grant a couple of years ago to help redo some of our fields and some of that stuff. So they don't charge us a monthly fee. They just want to make sure that we're there, we're providing the service to the community, and that, that we're holding up our end for that ground. Because all that ground, what some people may not realize, is actually future expansion of the cemetery. Right. So that will go back to the city at some point as they need it. So it's definitely their ground, but there isn't a cost for that. And that's all, like public knowledge and stuff through our
but again, it does cost a lot of money to maintain these. And then talk about the future, because there's always advancements or different things that you guys want to have involved. I know we've talked about doing some video coverage of the of American League, of the Little League and things like that. Like you have, let's say you're hosting a tournament or something like that. It costs money to being able to bring all these different teams in, and like your insurance and things like that. It's not the glamorous stuff that costs the most money, is it?
And you're exactly right. That's just it. And that's where it's hard to raise money for a lot of those things. So we have things like this where we go out and do this, that we can use this to be the the stuff that doesn't look really great, that you don't see. It covers the costs of that stuff. And like this year, we're hosting the district all-star tournament. So we'll have teams from South Sioux City and Omaha will come here. Those tournaments, Little League doesn't pay anything for that. Right. We don't charge admission for that. We can't charge those teams to be here. So that's another thing that, like, our league just absorbs those costs. You have two umpires at every game. Oh, that's another thing. During the regular Little League nights, we have to pay for all those umpires and everything too, which is great. And we get a lot of high school kids and stuff that do that, which is, them kind of coming back to where they had played. But you have all those things that do cost a lot of money, and it's got to come from somewhere. And so we just have to find ways to get it. And this is one of those big things, is the fireworks.
Is the fireworks kind of a pretty large fundraiser for you then?
It is, as far as like $1 per dollar, absolutely. I mean, nothing beats our local sponsors. Our banner folks and everything like that, all the businesses that give to us year after year after year. That is obviously our biggest thing. But as far as like a one thing that we do, this is definitely it, and it's a very substantial amount that it helps bring in. So. And
so then I think part of it also is to then help change the mindset of some individuals. I know I've heard it before. Well, why are you just burning up money? It's really not just burning money. You're going to be entertaining yourself, but you're actually supporting a cause.
Absolutely. You're supporting the kids in this town and the families in this town. We have a large scholarship fund that every year, I mean, it doesn't matter. We have a no questions asked policy. If somebody comes to us and says, hey, I've got 1, 2, 4, or 10 kids and they all want to play baseball, but we can't afford it. We don't ask questions. We just sign them up and we get them going, and things like this. Yeah, we figure it out. We find a way to cover those costs, and whether it's that or people making donations of equipment to the league, and then we'll find those kids and the ones that need them. We give them equipment. We'll find a way for the kids to play, and I think ideally that's a big part of what things like this help provide. That and Runza has done that too. We do a scholarship night every year through Runza. Has been really good. We started that a couple years ago. Yeah. They donate, a big chunk of the proceeds to the drive-through, and every year it's fun to just go sit there and watch the cars lined up out the road, because our community is just so great. And and whether it's our tent or any of these tents, if there's a group in town that you like and that you support, you should go to their tent, because that helps, whether it's the cheerleaders or softball or, whoever it is out there, that's a big thing that helps them, provide in this town. So.
But you guys are located on the west side of town.
We're right at the corner of 133 and Highway 30, right across from like the Viking restaurant there, right in the parking lot of Charlie's Speed Machine. So right on the way out of town, we're that big yellow tent on the west side of the road.
Easy to access
Very
from any
easy.
place.
Yeah, lots of parking and everything.
And so you go in there, good variety.
A lot. Yeah, there's a ton of, it's amazing how much stuff we have in there. And then there's a trailer that's parked out there that's got all our overstock. So, if you see something that you want or was in there before, ask, and we've probably either got some more coming on the way, out of Omaha, or we might have it in the trailer. So yeah, we've got a ton of really, really cool stuff in there.
And then you're open daily starting at 9 a.m.?
9 a.m. Yep, 9 to 10 is the hours, and that's set by the city. So you have to kind of, follow by that kind of stuff. But yeah, we close down every night at 10. But we're staffed and stocked every day.
And then through the 4th of July itself as well.
Yep, we'll be there on the 4th. We have to stop, the night of the 4th, and then we can't do anything. We'll be cleaning up on the 5th and can't sell anything thereafter. So.
All right. So again, support local, support the kids, support these organizations that are just really helping to improve our community and be a great part of our community, but do it in a fun way by celebrating the birth of America.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming in, and we look forward to, if you have anything else coming up, or if you have an update on how this is going, or if there are needs, let us know. We'd love to be able to talk about it.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much for having us.